Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be going through 3 things that I wish I'd have done a lot differently whilst doing up the flat, and you're going to want to stick around to the end because I'm going to be going through the juicy bits, the numbers. Now the first thing that I really wish that I'd have done differently would be to have had more firmer dates booked in a lot sooner than what I had done. Now what I mean by this is, due to the funding method that I went down, which was a bridge to let, as soon as we completed, I had dates provisionally booked in with tradesmen, but they kept lifting and shifting and moving along. I wish I did have a programme. I also wish that I'd allowed for a lot more time in the programme as well than what I had done. And really everything needed to have happened a lot sooner than what it did. And this was because of the funding method that I went down. So whilst I had sort of rough rolling dates with tradesmen, I really wish that I'd have honed down and had specific set dates in place for them. That came into play and was really important because of the funding route that I went down. When we completed, it all happened so quickly. It went from really at my wit's end with solicitors, if I'm honest. So because the completion took so long, I was given dates and they sort of got set back and we were still, it took forever to complete, and I'll go into that in detail in another video. They had jobs that came in, they got booked up, and then I had to shoehorn myself in with them, and thank God, because they really did work with me and just worked to try and get actual project completed. So if I go back to my funding route now, so because we did the bridge to let route, which is essentially a mortgage, but it's 2-stage. Basically, it enables you to buy property that you might not be able to get on a buy-to-let basis if you went straight for a buy-to-let mortgage. So it allows you to add value in a sense to a property and then go on to the buy-to-let. So you do things in 2 stages, because they'll say if a property isn't suitable to be let out straight away, it's not habitable, you might not be able to get a buy-to-let mortgage straight away on it. So therefore you get a bridge loan. So then you get a loan at first. So that'll be the first stage, would be getting the loan. And then the second stage would be to go on to the buy-to-let mortgage. So essentially, in my eyes, it's a 2-stage mortgage, and it enables you to buy a property that might not be habitable, so you can add value. So that's part of my strategy, is to buy the properties where I can add value by refurbishing the property. So that's one of my things that I look for on my property profile, is a property that I can do up, and then I'll go through the bridge to let process. So if you go down this route, timing is a very crucial factor in it. So when you want to trigger the second stage of going on to a buy to let, you have so when you go through a bridge to let 2-stage mortgage process, you basically have your exit plan figured out from the beginning. So you'd more likely go with it. So the way mine worked is I went with the same lender. So I'd go through, I got a bridge loan to initially purchase the property. So when you get approved for the bridge loan, you also get approved for the buy-to-let mortgage as well. And the rates and everything are all set out from the beginning as well. So basically time is a huge factor. So you've really got to make sure that you get all your dates right, or you push through the project and then kickstart the second part of it, and then go on to the buy-to-let process. And in my case, I literally just secured funding for the bridge to let right before all this kerfuffle with Liz Truss and the Chancellor and everything, and interest rates going sky high and going up and down, all this unpredictability. There was even more pressure on me to make sure that we went smoothly onto the bridge to let, and I secured the buy to let mortgage after, because I had mortgage rates of pre-Liz Truss crisis. So if I didn't get onto the buy to let portion before that expired, I would be looking for new funding, which means looking at interest rates that are a lot higher than what I had secured. So yeah, timing was really crucial. So if I go back, the actual completion side in the beginning to actually purchase actually overran. So that shortened the project period. The date for the actual project was set for that to be finished so that you could get onto the buy-to-let, so that didn't expire. So those dates never moved. They always stood still, but the completion date kind of squeezed the project timeline. So that is why after a while it was just, oh my God, I've just got to get it done. I was just sheer determination just to get the project done so that we could get onto the buy-to-let portion and get onto the lower rates and not risk losing our exit strategy. So yeah, that's why it was all a bit frantic in the end. So yes, Knowing what I know now, I know it's a bit difficult when completion times are always shifting and moving, and understandably tradesmen, if you booked them for a certain date and you then find that things have shifted and moved on and you can't meet those dates, and somebody else has booked them, they're going to go for that. So I just kind of wish that, or maybe I just wish that the whole completion in the first instant was a lot smoother, and it's frustrating because it's out of your hands. Yeah, I think that's a thing that I would have done differently. So that leads me nicely into my next point. I think another thing that I would have done differently would be to have pestered, and when I say pestered, I mean on their case, not even daily, hourly, really nagging the professionals. And when I say the professionals, I'm sorry, I've got to say it, I more mean the solicitors than anything, because my mortgage advisor was brilliant. Their whole team, they are brilliant down at, and that's Castlegate Financial Services. I'll pop their details in the link and in the description box, sorry, below, if you ever want to contact them if you're going through that. They are brilliant. They literally, I think they were acting almost as a therapist by the end of it, because I was like, oh my, in pieces I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to get this done. They really helped push and keep things moving along. So really make sure that you get a really good mortgage advisor, financial advisor, whatever. Just make sure you get contact details for a good professional in that regard, because they are worth their weight in gold and you pay them fees for a reason. Yeah, if it weren't for them, I think it could have gone a lot differently. But yeah, that would have been my next thing, would be to have pestered the solicitors a hell of a lot more than what I did. I did pester them a lot, and I know probably solicitors that are watching this are probably thinking, oh God, please don't be saying that. But I just really, the communication, I don't feel that it was that great between the solicitor that I used, and it's not to bash them. They might have had, I don't know, they've probably got the world of cases on, and they, you know, it was a mad time back then, because as I said, it was during the whole Liz Truss thing, so they must have had a lot of cases on. So they probably I'm not seeing what they're dealing with. They probably had a load of clients that they were dealing with as well that were also felt as pressured as I did. But I do feel that communication was lacking. The way I think it went, it just seemed like I had a time slot allocated to my case at about 5:30 or something, because that's when they would send emails or ask for any actions that need doing, was at about 5:30, and obviously when it might be by email as well. So you'd be waiting another, you'd read the email, pick it up and look at the time, and be like, oh God, right, they've just shut. So you'd have to wait another day, and then it'd be the next day before you could either speak to them or reply back to their email. And of course then they'd not get back to me until 5:30 again the next day, or whenever it was. It was just seemed to be, it was in the afternoon or in the really late evening when they'd get back to me. So that was quite frustrating, if they did at all. So yeah, the solicitors were, in my opinion, as a customer, I felt a bit neglected by them, if I'm perfectly honest. And I really don't want to bash anyone on here, but yeah, it was a real hard slog sort of dealing with solicitors. Yeah, and the forms that they'd send as well, I'm not legally minded, so some of it I didn't understand. And as I said, it would be, they'd send it really late. You've got no one to call to say, can you explain how to do this? Because I remember, as I said before, when I brought my other buy-to-let years and years ago, over 10 years ago, obviously that was pre-COVID and whatever, I remember going into the office, sitting down with the solicitors, they explained everything to me, they even showed you where to sign. You had the legal documents, had little yellow and red stickers on them as to tell you where to sign, what to put, what you write in, and that was to buy. But yeah, the process I remember being a lot easier and a lot clearer than what it was, and the solicitors were a lot clearer with me than this time round. And this time round it's a lot more complicated, because one, I was doing the bridge to let funding process, and another thing was I'm buying as a company, so things were a lot differently. So I just wished that things were explained a lot better. I felt like I was working for them rather than them working for me, and they get paid a lot of money. So, and I made it very clear that this is the first time buying in a company name. So I just wish things were a lot clearer and a lot better explained. And as I said, it's no thing to bash them. I don't know, they've probably got a load of caseloads on and they might not even have the capacity or the time to do that, but I just kind of felt a little bit neglected by them. Yeah, so another point or another thing that I would have done differently would have been to not take the ceilings down to the extent that I did. I think that was a bit of overkill on the demolishing side, really. I think what we could have done was just probably overboarded it still, if we were going to still do that, or just still done that rather than taking them down to the extent that we did. So yeah, that would be another thing that I wish I'd done differently, but at least now I know exactly what's up there. So I suppose that's another good thing, that's a learning point. But yeah, that is definitely something that I would have done differently. And finally, this is a bonus point, I would have done the whole door thing completely different. As I explained earlier, I was in such a rush and in beast mode, let's get this done because of the whole funding situation. I ordered the wrong doors. It wasn't a major thing, but it just caused we just had to jug things around with the joiner a bit more so that they were still kept in work and still kept there while the new doors came. So I ordered the wrong size doors. So I got my receipts here. So I ordered 2 white cottage panel doors that were 1981 by 762. So 1981 high by 762 wide. I ordered a door that was again 1981 high by 686 for the, I think that was for the little cupboard. And I also ordered 2 1981 by 838 doors. So basically they were just too small. They're too short. There was a bit at the top, it was a sizable amount that they were too small by. So what I actually had to order, and this was from Express Doors, so shout out to them because it came really, really quickly. They actually saved my life with that. One door that was 2040 high by 626 wide, and that was for the small one in the cupboard. 2040 high by 726 wide, 2 of those, and then another 2 doors that were 2040 high by 826. It doesn't sound much, but it is a big difference when it was all there. Obviously the joiner picked up the ones that were there that were the wrong size from B&Q and was like, Sabrina, we've got a problem here, these aren't going to fit. So yeah, that had to be rectified and we had to redo that. But yeah, overall, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed the project. It was really good, and it just proved to me this is something that I really, really want to do moving forward. Everything that happened, especially all the stuff that kind of, I wouldn't say went wrong, but kind of issues that came up, and just overcoming them and getting past them and working through them, and yeah, problem solving, thinking on my feet. And tradesmen as well, they were really great to work with. All of the tradesmen that I worked with were so good. The electrician, the plumber, the joiners, they're all brilliant. Everyone was brilliant. Dave the painter, oh my god, all of them, they were really, really good. They all kind of came together and everyone just gave me the best advice. They worked with me. We did things in different orders to what we wanted to do things, just so that things got done. So that just shows you how flexible and how good tradespeople that I have are around me. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really happy and looking forward to working with them all again in the future. I don't know, hopefully they'll want to work with me again. But yeah, no, it was really, really good. And it was fast-paced. I've never had to think on my feet so much before in my whole life. It was just trying to get everything done, and I think it was all to do with the added pressure of obviously trying to get through the funding process, basically, to ensure that we had those really good rates. The pressure of that weren't there, it would have gone smoothly and gone the way we needed it to go, and it would have been a lot better, and some the things that happened wouldn't have been such a big issue. But yeah, no, it was really great. Really enjoyed it. And if anyone's thinking of doing it, just do it. Just start it, just do it. And if you're hesitating about it and you're thinking, should I, or shouldn't I, just do it and get on and do it. It is the best feeling ever now that I've done the flat, because it looks amazing. I love it. We've got what we want for it, so there's in valuation terms which we'll go on to now, which I'm sure that's what everyone's sort of here for. And another thing that I would have done differently would be I feel that I've learned so much, and I'm just ready to go again and put the skills and things that I have learned here on doing this practically for myself and with my partner in crime. Again, doing that and moving that forward as well. Oh, and as well, you need to have a really good person to take away your waste ethically as well. So shout out to Jarrell for doing that all for me. It was really good. There was so much more rubbish than what I thought, and it was obviously, with it being a flat and we didn't have any land outside, so we couldn't just put a skip there and leave the skip there for ages, because it would have been classed as fly tippings, because they're really hot on that where the flat is. You can't leave anything outside or for any amount of time, otherwise you'll get fined, which is another plus as to why I wanted to get the property, because the grounds are pretty much immaculate. They're kept really clear and really clean, and the stairs and everything, you know, the residents are really hot on that. I think we left, there was a bit of rubbish on the first day that was on the steps, which I wasn't aware of, and we got a note through the door to say, you clean your rubbish up, which quite rightly so. Everyone pulls together and keeps the communal areas clean. So Jarrell was really good. He literally, I phone him, oh Jarrell, can you come and take this rubbish away? There within seconds, and, well, not within seconds, but there, and just cleared everything, packed everything away and went. Every single time I had to phone him, he came. So yeah, make sure you do get someone who is really good to clear your rubbish away, and clear your rubbish away ethically as well. You don't want anyone that's going to flight it, which Jarrell was really good at. Okay, so the bit that you've all been waiting for, the finances. So I bought the flat for 80k. We spent around 10k, give or take, doing it up. And we've got a valuation range from 115 to 120. So I'm really happy with that, ecstatic. This is going to be a workhorse, so we're keeping the flat. So the rental valuation we got of around 750 per calendar month. So I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, we won't be selling it. We've kept with this, the strategy for this property is to keep it. And it's going to be a bit of a workhorse. Obviously, it was brought because I wanted to use it to sort of test my project management skills and test out working tradesmen, as I said before, just to build up relationships with them, with the ones that we sort of already know, and just sort of go through the process and just test everything and see how I felt doing it all in the first place. Basically, the flat was used to buy for as a learning project, and I'm going to put into place in the next projects that we do some of the things that I've learned, some of the strategies I've worked out, what works and from this, what works and what doesn't work at this point. So yeah, I've got a lot that I can take away from this. There's a lot of takeaways from it. I'm really happy with the outcome. I love the flat. I think it's come out really nice. There's, as I said, there's things that we would do differently, but in the end, I always knew, because obviously I've worked out my property profile from day one, and what and how that fits into my overall property journey and strategy moving forward. So this one was always going to be a keeper, and just to churn out income every month. And I know it will do, where it is and what it is. It's cheap living, cheap flat for where it is. It will rent out straight away. It already has rented out straight away before we even finished the project. We've got people, I've still got people now asking me, can I have the flat? And this, you know, it's just to say it's already gone. So the flats had interest in it already. So I know as and when the current tenants that are in there, if they want to move out, if they do eventually move out, I can get somebody else in there straight away, because as I said, it's cheap living. It's in a nice area. It's just an overall nice little property for what I wanted and what suits us and what suits our strategy moving forward. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. So yeah, the flat will serve to be a workhorse. It will be there to boost cash flow and just bring money into the architectural business so that I can work on that. So if you do need architectural services and you're in the Nottingham area, our details are in the description box. Shameless plug. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with it. So in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed the video. So subscribe for more, because we have more properties coming up and in the pipeline. We have one where we're going to be splitting the titles. We're going to be doing a change of use from a hairdresser's business to a residential property, so that will be interesting to see. But yeah, and we'll go more in depth into construction and stuff like that in future videos. So please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this one, and watch this video next, where I go through the full property tour of the flat that we've just refurbished. Thanks, bye.